Welcome back to the channel, to another sound design tutorial. In today's video we're gonna learn how to turn this into this sound. And then also I'm gonna show you how to make this one. Then in this place, in this song, is supporting this one. So this sound is a part of the song I've been making a couple of weeks ago. I've never actually showed how the sound has been made and what's the main idea behind it, why the effects are positioned in a certain way. So today we're gonna cover this sound. Also for people who didn't watch the previous video, you don't have to because it's gonna be in today's video including. And as a bonus, because this sound is kind of completing the first one, we're gonna be turning this vocal into this. So we're gonna start from the bottom, which is a Serum sound. So this is a super simple sound. It's a super saw wave. Basically what we're doing here is that we are having a oscillator 1, basic mini waveform, and we're pushing the unison up to 100%. And as you can hear, it got these 16 voices, but it's still mono. So what I'm doing is I'm going here into global section, there's width, and I'm turning this from 100% to 0%. This way we're getting mono sound. Then I'm getting this J60 noise. You know, a pretty pleasant noise. Then some distortion to make it beefy. And then some OTT. Super simple sound. Oh, I forgot about this one. Having an envelope on the cutoff of the filter. It adds some warmth to the sound. First, some EQ for the tone, so just get rid of the mud here. So this is gonna get really interesting now. So we're gonna be using form and filtering, and I'm gonna actually put the EQ on to here. We used form and filtering on the previous video too. I think it's a super sick tool to make super sick sounds. Let's take a listen to the whole sound, and I'm gonna turn off the form and filters. I'm gonna with form and filters. So the sound is kind of changing to like a more scream sound. So we are using form and filters to create form and resonances. So if you take a look at this EQ here, as you can see, these formants appear in this place. These two kind of resonances. You can move it around to create different, you know, kind of like vocals sounding leads. We get really resonating sound. So usually you probably don't want anything like this. You'd probably want to just get rid of these resonances. But in this case, it's gonna work really well because we're using a distortion layer. So I'm using a decapitator. So as you can hear, these resonances that form and filtered cause are actually turned into like a pleasing, warm, kind of long tone. And they actually lengthen the notes, so take a listen without them. It's like but because they're resonating, and resonances, like the higher the resonance, it's kind of like having a little bit of the tail. When you combine it with the distortion, it actually lengthens the note. As you can hear, when I stop, you can kind of hear a bit of a tail. But if I turn off these form and filters, there's no tail. That's cool. So then I'm using a reverb. To put it in the background. Then CQ. I really like this one. It helps me to clean up the sound and boost the high end. Then OTT. Makes it pretty squashed and balanced. Then we're having EQ8. Got the unnecessary low end, but actually I have another EQ here. And this one is automated because here there's like a bass shot. So we need the low end, but then we're cutting the low end because it's kind of making the sound a little bit dirty. Usually when you're using distortion, you wanna, unless the sound is a bass, you wanna put a EQ afterwards to cut the low end because it is creating the low end. So as you can see, there are here automations, and these are the reverb automations. So I wanted to kind of make like a better transition in these spaces, so I used a reverb and I had with like a 7.6 decay time, and I automated the mix. Now let me bump it up so you can hear it better. A little bit was cool. So yeah, that's basically the sound. These formant filters are adding a lot of juice to the sound. So let's take a look at this vocal. Basically we're having the same thing. Then we're adding Q because we don't want any low end. Then Soothe 2 because let's take a look at EQ. As you can see, there's a lot of like spikes in the frequency spectrum, so I wanted to get rid of them because I like the smooth sound of the vocal. Again, formant filter. You can hear there's like a resonating element to the sound. Reverb 100% to put it in the background. And what a cool thing happens when you add a distortion after a reverb. Because the reverb is like a chorus kind of thing, and it's having a limited frequency, meaning that it has a high cut. It makes the whole thing warm because the distortion is actually adding high frequencies. So next we have Soothe. Again, I really like the smooth sound and I think it sounds much better. So then EQing to cut the low end, because in this case we're layering this with this one. Just don't need the low end because it's already on the previous sound. And then OTT, just to finish up the sound. Kind of squash the dynamics, make it kind of smoother. So that's basically the whole thing. Formant filters are insanely cool. Let me see one thing, because that may actually be pretty cool. Instead of adding formant filters, they are actually staying in one place. I guess you can do the resonance like that. Yeah, as you can see, the higher the Q and the sharper these resonances are, the longer they're staying. It kind of works, so you can do this manually probably, but it's just a lot of searching, and formant filter is just making it easier. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about the sound. Is it sick? Is it not sick? Have a nice day and see ya in the next one. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, you can cite that subscribe button. Also, you can visit my site oversample.us for some high quality samples, presets, and free sounds.